What is going on, guys? This is 42 Sports here, and today I am talking about college football. Yes, week 1 is this week. I'll probably talk about a few games here now and then, but what I'm talking about today is Appalachian State goes on the road to Athens, Georgia to get revenge against the Bulldogs. As you all know, a couple years ago, they got trampled by the Bulldogs. I believe it was like somewhere around 40 to 6 or something like that. It wasn't pretty. I went to the game. It was yeah, rough. But as we saw last year, Appalachian State is a team that you don't want to underestimate. They will give it all they have. They are a fighting team. They will always bring a dogfight-like mentality against big schools. As we all know, that they beat Michigan in 2005, one of the best years ever for Appalachian State. It was amazing. I was listening to the game and watching the game. It was crazy. But what Appalachian needs to do for this year, as we all know, that just to clarify as well, that Nick Chubb and Sony Michael will be back with the Bulldogs. That is going to be a key factor for the Bulldogs this year. Jacob Eason, who played extremely well last year as a freshman quarterback from the Pacific Ocean side of the country, or the out west, played really well. Even though they went 8-5, 4-4, he did really well. Also, they got Jake Fromm, who's a top 5 quarterback recruiting class out of last year. But Appalachian also lost some key guys like Bobo Betther and all of them. Marcus Cox is gone to the NFL as well, so that was a key players from last year. And the defense is a little bit out of shape also, but Devin Stringer, Eric Boggs, Clifton Duck is back, so that is helpful and experienced guys that know how to play the game of football and will always bring that dogfight mentality to the table. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the stats and then predict, see how it goes overall. It's just a prediction. It's not serious. It's just my thoughts and just going some crazy predictions as well. Hopefully, Appalachian State will upset Georgia, but most likely I think Georgia will win this game, not only because Georgia has a lot of experience in the backfield and quarterback, also defense. I think that Appalachian State is really young, but do not underestimate the Mountaineers, because I believe that they can do something great this year again. They went off of a 10-3 season and 7-1 in the conference, winning again in the Sun Belt Conference, also going back-to-back in bowl victories. Georgia, they went 8-5, 4-4 in the SEC East behind Tennessee, who Appalachian should have beaten last year if it wasn't for bad time management, field goal, and that crazy lucky fumble in the touchdown win against loss against Appalachian State, or Tennessee, my bad. So Jacob Eason last year for Georgia went 204 completions, 370 attempts, 2,430 yards, went 55.1 completion percentage. Yards per average was 6.7 or 6.57, which is really good. Touchdowns, he had 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Also, I think Georgia had some injuries, like Nick Chubb, I think, or Sony Michael, either one, I forget. Nick Chubb, who's back again, he's a beast, went 224 carries, 1,130 yards, 5.0 yards average, 8 touchdowns. He is a powerhouse running back. That dude will not be tackled unless you have 3 or 4 guys on him. Sony Michael is also a great back. He had 152 carries, 840 yards, 5.5 yards average, and 4 touchdowns. That's going to be a key factor for the Bulldogs of this year. I believe Isaiah McKenzie is still with the team. He had 44 receptions, 633 yards. No, he's not with the team. My bad. I forget who. Let's see. Hold on for a second. All right. Terry Goodwin went 73 receptions, 776 yards, 2 touchdowns. I believe he's back with the Georgia Bulldogs of this year. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the Appalachian State Mountaineers of last year's stats. Taylor Lamb, who is a senior for this year's quarterback position, he is experienced. and he knows how to play under pressure, especially against teams like Tennessee, Clemson, or Appalachian State, or not Appalachian State, Georgia. Even though they lost, he knows how to play the game. All right, so he had 197 completions, 325 attempts, 2,281 yards. Sorry for my voice crack. 60.6 completion percentage, 7.02 yards average, 15 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. QBR rating was 129.9. Jalen Moore, who will be the key factor for the Mountaineers, had a great year last year. He had 237 carries, 1,402 yards, 5.9 yards average, and 10 touchdowns. Shadon Matters, who will be back with the team this year, played great last year, had 45 receptions, 716 yards, 15.9 yards average of catching, and 2 touchdowns. Like I said, it's going to be a tough battle between the two, and I feel like Appalachian State will come out with a bang, and they will have a dogfight with the Bulldogs. But I think overall, God, my rookie is cracking. I don't know why. Overall, I think Georgia will win this game in the long term. But if it was a crazy prediction, I hope Appalachian State will beat Georgia 31-24. That will be my prediction if Appalachian State does win. My prediction if Georgia wins would probably be 35-31 in my prediction. I know it seems crazy and biased, but hey, it's just a fun video to make and for me to express my views and how I see the game and how it will go. I think that Georgia is more experienced and Appalachian State is a lot of young guys coming up to the to play, and so they're gonna be a little bit there's gonna be a young team while Georgia has experience and they got guys that are ready to play. So hopefully the Mountaineers will upset Georgia this year. That would be awesome. Can't wait to watch the games. Tomorrow I'll probably talk about Ohio State and Indiana on Thursday, or I might be talking about Alabama or FSU again. Alright guys, this is 42 Sports here. Hope you enjoy this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Guys, have a great day and peace.
As we get set to resume play. And he's taken down at the 19-yard line. Moore gains about a yard on the play.